To call to order the Planning Commission item of the Planning Commission meeting of January 14th, 2021. I will open the meeting as temporary chair and ask for a motion to elect a chair of the Planning Commission.
I make a motion to re-elect the chair for another term to serve as chair.
I'll second that.
Is there a second?
Yeah,
I didn't hear what the motion was.
Commission member Malberg made a motion to elect our current chair to be the new chair.
Okay, thank you. I'll second the motion.
Is there any other nominations? Any other nominations? With that, all in favor, vote aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
That was everybody voted aye?
Felger, aye.
Thank you.
Thompson, aye.
And everybody in the county boardroom voted aye. Dan, I will turn it over to you as chair to act on vice chair.
All right, thank you, Sean. All right, next on the agenda would be to elect a vice chair for the 2021. Do I have any nominations for that? Mr. Chair, I'll nominate Ken Felger. All right, I have a nomination for Ken. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any other nominations for a vice chair? Any other nominations? If there's no other nominations, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Felger, aye.
Ken, you're vice chair.
Thank you.
You bet. Next on the agenda would be to approve the minutes from the December 10th, 2020. Has everyone been able to look over or look through the minutes? And do we have any additions or corrections? And if not,
Mr. Chair,
yes,
how about the meeting calendar?
we'll hit that after minutes.
Oh, after
Is that
minutes?
okay?
I was just looking at the organization.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the minutes?
I'm having a hard time hearing who's making the motion and what they're saying. Could they speak closer to their microphone, please?
Okay, we'll try to better at that, Jan. Thank you. Is there any other discussion for the minutes? If not, all those in favor of the minutes signify by saying aye.
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 Felger, aye.
Motion carries. And then, has everybody been able to look over the calendar for 2021? Is there any conflicts with meeting dates, or is that all okay?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ken?
I have not looked over the meeting date proposed for, it looks like April. What is the date proposed for April 2021?
April 9th.
No, April 15th.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've got the entire calendar. April 15th, Ken. Thank you, Pat.
Very well, thank you, Sean.
Is there any other discussion on the calendar? If not, can I have a motion to approve the calendar for 21?
I would move so. This is Ken Felger.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. There's no other discussion on it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. That should take care of our organizational. Moving on to the first one on the agenda is Wayne and Lori Steffens.
Hello.
Want to have a seat and give your names to Terry for the record, please?
Lori, Laurie, Steffens, Steffens.
Wayne Steffens.
All right, thank you. All right, Sean, whenever you're ready.
One question, Mr. Chair. Are you seeing an arrow on the slides move around?
You have the slide up, but I do not see an arrow.
Okay, so I'll have to figure out how to designate a pointer, which I haven't yet. This item has been rezoned by the county board per the request to rezone the south portion showing in white to residential. The request today is a conditional use permit for the 2-lot subdivision. The existing house and the lot shown not in red will remain ag, and that piece of the property drawn in red will be one R2 lot.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ken?
is Sean manipulating these slides, or shall we be doing it ourselves? Actually, it looks like just me out here. Shall I be manipulating those slides myself, Sean?
Well, are the slides moving in the county boardroom?
Yes.
They should be moving for you, Ken. Are they?
They are not. I've been manually doing it myself.
There must be a delay. I don't know. So we're on slide 7.
Correct. That's the one I'm on currently.
So if it's not changing for you, I guess you'll have to forward the slides and ask me what slide we're on if you're not sure.
Very well. Thank you.
Do you have any more, Sean?
I do not.
Okay. We'll come back here. Do you, as applicants, have anything to add?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think so.
Okay.
And Mr. Chair, we have received the survey and all the subdivision information required.
Okay. Thank you, Sean. Do you have anybody from the public that is on that you know of?
I do not believe so.
Okay. If we don't have any comments from the public, then we'll come back here to the board and what do I have for comments here? Anything from you, Ken or Jan?
Not for me, Mr. Chair.
All right. Well, if nobody sees any discussion or any challenges, are we ready for a motion for this division?
I'm prepared to make a
Mr.
motion.
Chair, this is Ken.
Okay, Ken, go ahead.
I would move that we approve a conditional use permit for a 2-lot unplatted subdivision with the waiver of planning requirements, existing home to remain A, in accord with the survey completed by Mayor Roldine Land Services dated 12/8/2020, file number 20442, with the condition that an access permit will need to be obtained, if required, by the township before construction on the new lot.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any other discussion?
Well, what's the condition of the access? What was that? I don't even understand that.
If it's required by the township.
But
So
what is that meaning?
it would probably be where the township wants that access to come on to the township
Oh,
road.
you mean the driveway?
Yep, the
Oh,
driveway.
oh, oh. Okay,
Yep,
just
yep.
clarified that.
Yep.
That's all I need to know. Okay.
Okay. If there's no other discussion, we'll go by a roll call vote, and we'll start out with Dan Bravender.
Bravender votes aye.
Felger votes aye.
Thompson votes aye.
Corey Tanner votes aye.
Ketchmark votes aye.
Wahlberg's aye.
Dan Mall votes aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yep. Wasn't too painful today.
No, very good, thank you.
Good day.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Ken.
Mr. Chair, do we have new members on the commission today?
Yes, we do. Sorry, I should have introduced those when we started out. We do have two board members here today. One is Corey Tanner as a new member, and also Mike Ketchmark as the county commissioner's representative. So we have 5 people here in the boardroom today.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Sean, if you can hear me, it's pretty noisy in the background.
Yeah, when people come and go, the county boardroom gets noisy, and we can hear you fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm having a hard time hearing the folks that are in the meeting itself when it's so noisy. So, whatever that's worth. But
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I caught the name of our new commission member, Mr. Ketchmark, but I didn't catch the name of the other individual.
Corey Tanner.
Corey Tanner.
Yes.
Hi, yeah, I'm Ken.
Nice to meet you, Ken.
Same here.
Joe Bowden? He's not here. Great, he's online.
Okay, we'll move on to number 2 then, to Joe Bolland.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Do you want to give your name then for Terry?
Okay, what we have is we have 2 different lots that we own
Excuse
in
me.
Maple Lake.
Joe?
Just give
Yes.
your name
If you
for the record.
If you can identify yourself for the record, and then I will lay it out, and then you
Okay.
can describe in detail.
All right, my name is Joseph Paul Ballant, and we are the owners of 220 80th Street Northwest, Buffalo, Minnesota.
Thank you. Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yes, the property is in Maple Lake Township. A portion of it is zoned R2A, and the remainder is ag. The area is in land use plan for residential. There's an existing house contained within that narrow white strip, or an existing parcel with a house. And the owner is wanting to make the parcel larger, the narrow parcel with the house on it. So that would require the rezoning of a portion of the residential lot back to agriculture. And if approved, there would be a subdivision review later to create those, that 2-lot layout. That's all I have.
All right. Joe, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, that's the simple part. Is just the common sense thing is we have the long skinny lot is so skinny that the back of the house property line is literally about 10 feet beyond the back of the house. And through the county's help, we were able to put a new septic in, and we had to get an easement. And, you know, we want to just expand the lot a little bit so that if we were to ever separate those 2 lots, we'd get rid of the easement and not have any issues in the future.
So what you're asking to do, you're not going to combine the 2 lots together? You would leave them as 2 separate lots?
Correct. We're just looking to pull about 2 acres from the residential onto the ag because the house is actually on the ag property.
And Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yes, the overall property is currently 2 lots. There's the large residential lot not built on, and then there's a smaller narrow lot with the house on it. So the goal is to enlarge the agricultural lot through this rezoning and leave the remainder as the large residential lot. So in total, it'll be 2 now, 2 at the end.
Okay, so I guess I'm trying to, where the house and the shed and the sewer on is one lot, and they're gonna combine the red area?
The sewer's here.
Yeah, right. So when it's all said and done, would it be one lot where the house is on and the sewer is on would be one lot? And then the other large lot would still be remaining?
That's correct.
Correct.
Okay, that makes it a little clearer.
The one lot will be enlarged to contain the sewer and additional land and will remain one lot.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Is there anyone from
Chair?
the public? Sean?
Not that I'm aware of, and I think Jan had a question if there's nobody from the public.
Okay, then we will come back to the board. Jan?
Is there anybody there from the pub that wants to make a comment from the public? If not, I'm ready to propose a motion.
Well, we haven't, is there anyone else from the board that has any comments or questions? We're ready for a motion, Jan.
Okay. I make a motion for the approval of the rezoning to the County Board of Commissioners to rezone the property from R-2A suburban residential to AG general agricultural because the board feels it meets the criteria laid out in the land use plan and the town board approves.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion made and seconded. Is there any other discussion?
That was you, Mike?
Yes.
If there's no other discussion, we'll do a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Bravender.
Bravender votes aye.
Tanner votes
Felger votes aye.
Sorry.
Thompson votes aye.
Jeff Smart votes aye.
Mulder votes aye.
Maul votes aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Joe.
There's a second part.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
then we have the second part to continue it for the subdivision.
I'll make that motion, if it's all right. I make a motion to continue the hearing on the subdivision portion of the request to allow time for the applicant to finalize survey work and obtain other required information for subdivision approval, and for the county board to act on the rezoning.
Do you want that continued to the February 12th meeting?
That's fine.
Or, no, be the February 4th?
February 4th, correct.
Can the applicant get the work done by then?
We will do everything we can to try to get it done.
Okay, and if you don't quite get done, then just get a hold of the P&Z down here and we can push it off to the
Yep.
next meeting.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, do I have a second for the continuation?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. If there's no other discussion, we'll have a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Bravender.
Bravender votes aye.
Felger votes aye.
Thompson votes aye.
Tanner votes aye.
Jeff Smart votes aye.
Mulder's aye.
Maul votes aye. Motion carries. All right, thank you again, Joe.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll go to number 3, James Bruce. Are they here or are they on the web? Oh, they're coming, okay. Yeah, if you want to have a seat at the table and give your names for the record to Terry.
Jim Price, Preusse.
Jim Splinter, Splinter.
All right, Sean, whenever you're ready.
Mr. Chair, Planning Commission, this item was continued to do a site inspection. The property's in Monticello Township. It's zoned agriculture. It's in the land use plan for ag residential, minimum 10-acre lots. And the one existing lot out of the middle of the property. So the decision today is concerning the rezoning. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything the applicant would like to add?
I don't at this time.
Okay, is there anyone from the public, Sean?
I did not have any request for an invite.
Okay, thank you. Is there any comments here from the board or any questions from the site inspection or going forward?
Yes, Mr. Chair, this is Jan.
Yeah, Jan, go ahead.
I have a question and a concern. I noticed here on this site plan that the proposal is for an easement from the road to the property back there. Is there any reason that road can't become a permanent addition to the house that's in existence rather than show up as an easement on the recorded records at the county? Can't you just sell some of that land at 66 feet wide or whatever it is for a street to allow them access to that property in the back?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Sean.
and the property owner might want to chime in too, but Jan, that property has owned access to the township road. I'm not sure if there's a document that reads an easement. If so, that's probably incorrect language. So that was that was an ag division done of an existing house or entitlement, and that required owned access to that township road.
Well, that takes care of that then, because I was looking at something that I read in here referred to it as an easement, and that was a concern of mine. But if that's not the case, then I'm fine.
Yeah, so if we use that language, that would have been a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Bravender?
By the way, I am in favor of this. I just have a concern about parcel D, and I think you know what I'm going to be talking about. It's the lot line next to the building of the exception property being too close to property line.
We're on slide 19 for reference.
And I'm not sure what the distance is. Does anybody know what the distance is right now?
I do know the distance from the structure to I didn't see the stake, but our surveyor had staked it. It's 12 feet
12 feet?
to the line.
Sean, what is the setback from the property lines? On Friday, I know we had the situation of Board of Adjustments, and I want to say it's 10 feet. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a detached structure, correct?
Correct.
So I did not go over every detail on that before the meeting, but it's likely 10 feet because of the size of the lot. It's a smaller lot.
Yes.
And even with that, the Planning Commission can do what they want, but that parcel exists. If there is an encroachment on the property line, the proposed subdivision isn't calling for any changes to that particular property line.
And I would say, Dan, when we were out there, and he's saying it's 12 feet, I would say it's pretty close to that. So I would say it's within setback.
That answers my question.
Okay.
Happy with that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there any other concerns or thoughts about recommending this for rezoning? And we do have some letters, that we received about concerns about rezoning, but it is in the It is in the land use plan as a growth area, so,
Mr. Chair, I mean, I guess the only comment that I would have is, having read that letter from the neighbor to the east, and having been out to the property, I'm satisfied that following what we have guided this in land use plan as, it is not some sort of unforeseen burden, and perhaps not a burden at all on that property to the east from my view.
thank you.
Did you catch that, Jan?
No.
Pat made the comment that he read the letters from the neighborhood and took that into consideration at the site inspection. And based on what he saw for the lay of the land and existing development out there, that satisfied his concerns.
Oh, thank you, Sean.
Is there any other comment from the board? If not, is there a motion?
I'm prepared to make a motion.
All right, Commissioner Bravender,
Make a motion to approval of the rezoning to the County Board of Commissioners from Ag, General Agriculture, and Part S2, Residential Recreational Shorelands, to Ag Residential and Part S2 because the board feels it meets the criteria laid out in the land use plan.
all right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll do a roll call vote.
Bravender votes aye.
Felder votes aye.
Thompson votes aye.
Tanner votes aye.
Ketchmark votes aye.
Albert votes aye.
Small votes aye. Motion carries.
I'll make a second motion.
Go ahead.
I'd like to continue for the county board to act on the rezoning for the applicant to obtain the required information for the subdivision to February 4th, is that?
Yeah.
The February 4th meeting?
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, all those in favor through a roll call vote?
Bravender votes aye.
Felder votes aye.
Thompson votes aye.
Tanner votes aye.
Ketchmark votes aye.
Albert, aye.
Small, aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for showing up at the site visit.
Yeah, and thank you for showing us the property and, you know, having it plowed out so we could get around on it. It was helpful.
Okay.
You know, it's one of those properties that you just kind of got to see it.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda will be Mary Loge. Once we get things cleaned up here, we'll get started.
Are you online, Mary?
I'm online, but I'm also on cell myself.
So you're watching it but talking via phone?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Was anybody coming to the courthouse on your request, or it's just you?
Just me today.
And then are you there, Paul?
Paul
You
is
don't-
not.
Paul is not, okay.
Okay, whenever you're ready, Sean, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, Planning Commission, this property had a recommendation for rezoning, and the county board acted on that. If you recall, you did a site inspection of the property. So the property has been rezoned to R2A shoreland. The request is for a conditional use permit for a 3-lot subdivision shown on the survey, Lot A, B, and C. Slide 25 for your reference. They have met all the requirements for the subdivision information. And the conditional use permit is in front of you, and that's all I have right now.
All right. Mary, do you have anything you want to add?
I do not.
Okay. Sean, do we have anybody from the public?
I don't believe so.
Okay. That brings us back to the board. Is there any questions or comments from the board?
Mr. Chair, this is Ken.
Go ahead, Ken.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I just simply had a question of the applicant, if the lady could kindly answer that. And it has really nothing to do with the subdivision request here today, but I see on parcel C on the east side, there is a pool and deck. Is that simply an encroachment, or is that the property of the...
That is an encroachment that we are addressing.
Okay.
Aside from this.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Sean.
I have one question for the applicant. Mary,
Yes,
do you see the certificate of survey slide?
I do.
Our highway department has indicated a shared access for parcels A and B, and C is either supposed to use a existing field access or to be placed as far west from the intersection as possible. Is that your understanding?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So A and B will have one driveway that goes to the county road, and we will need easements and documents recorded on such. And then you'll be having a separate driveway for parcel C, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I have a question on parcel C. Is this drain tile that we're referring to, is that coming across from the field to the south? Underneath the road?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that whole question.
Mary, Commission Member Dan Bravender asked about the field tile. I thought he said lot B, but it might be lot C. He was curious if it came from the field south of the road.
It actually comes from the field to the southeast. It's diagonal. It starts in the field to the southeast. I guess it'd be on the south side of 37 and on the east side of County Road 6. And then it's under that intersection and then goes down into there. And it's been there since as long as we can remember. And my brother owns the land right now, and my dad owned it, mom and dad owned it before that, and it's been there as long as we can remember.
That good?
Yep.
Okay, is there any,
And that's all I know about it.
is
And
there any-
Mary, you feel that lot can be built on without disturbing or causing a problem for that drain tile?
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
Any other comment? If not, are we ready for a motion?
Prepared to make a motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, go ahead.
Make a motion to approve conditional use permit for a 3-lot unplatted subdivision in accordance with the survey completed by Wright Associates dated 1/5/2021, project number 20-0459 with the following conditions. 1, for feedlot regulations, livestock are allowed as regulated by section 152 of the Wright County Code of Ordinances. 2, a shared access is required for the 2 lots per highway department. The easements will need to be recorded prior to any permits being issued, along with an access permit obtained by the county highway, from the county highway department prior to any construction. Also, an access permit will be required from the county highway department for the south lot prior to any construction occurring. Drain tile on the north lot, and 3, drain tile on the north lot cannot be disturbed unless properly redone.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded.
I couldn't hear the motion. I could not hear the motion.
The motion
I
was
couldn't
as
either, I'm sorry.
presented in our packet.
What?
The motion was as presented in our packet.
I don't understand it.
The,
There's so much noise in the background, I can't understand what you're saying there.
Jan, do you have your report in front of you?
Yes, I have my report in front of me.
The action was as presented by staff in the staff report. There were not any changes made, and Commission Member Malberg read it verbatim.
Okay.
Is
So
that
what
it?
what I have then is the action, once we receive the required item for subdivision approval, staff will have a better idea of motion. Is that what he's suggesting?
I'm sorry, that's the preliminary report. We had a final report that had the conditions of, similar to what we always draw, meeting the site plan and the shared access and feedlot regulations.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jan.
is there any other discussion? If not, we'll have a roll call vote.
Ravender votes aye.
Felder votes aye.
Thompson votes aye.
Tanner votes aye.
Ketchmark votes aye. Auburn, aye.
All votes aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Mary.
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair?
Thank you very much.
Yes, Ken?
Mr. Chair, I'm wondering, you could ask that all those that are not speaking have their microphones muted, because as Jan had stated, I'm also incurring a great deal of background noise and could barely hear the motion. So, Sean, are you in control of muting all those who are not speaking?
Mr. Chair, I can mute people individually or mute all, as can Frank down at the county boardroom. I think for the most part they are. It just might be feedback from the room itself.
Okay. How do you want to proceed, Sean? Do you want to keep going forward, or do you want to be muting people?
I'm even muting myself. Right now I'm seeing, I think everybody's muted other than the boardroom itself. And then I see 3 call-in numbers, but I'm not sure who they are.
Yeah, it's really a technology sort of problem, and that now it got better.
Now it's
Did you do something?
They were just muted.
I just muted one of our call-in users.
That wasn't the boardroom.
Yeah, so if your phone number 612-812-0584 and need to talk, please unmute yourself. I think that did help. Are we ready, Mr. Chair, on the next item?
Yes, we're ready for Brad Paulman.
Brad, are you online?
Just got in here.
Good timing. Do you know if there's Scott, are you online? I see you logged in here.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I don't think, there's nobody at the county board, the courthouse, right?
No.
Okay. Mr. Chair, this property has been rezoned and approved by the county board to reflect the subdivision request, which is to have an R2 lot north of the existing ag lot with Mr. Matsky's house on it, that is adjusted to a larger lot. And then the remainder south to be an AR lot.
Okay. Is that all you have, Sean?
That's all I have at this time.
Okay. Mr. Plowman, do you have anything to add?
Just basically what we, what I mentioned before, that, it's taking care of some issues that, the existing landowner, Brian Matsky had. He had some encroachment issues that he never really needed access, so it takes care of that, and, it's a lakeshore parcel, so I think that we covered it before, so I think just to refresh everybody, that was the main things, and the township board approved it, so, but,
Okay.
I guess that's it.
Okay, thank you. Sean, is there anybody from the public?
Mr. Matsky, the owner of the house, is in attendance, but I don't know if he has any comment.
Do you have any comment, Mr. Matsky?
No comment. I'm just here if you have any questions for me.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're back to the board here. Is there any comments, concerns, thoughts? I guess if there's no...
Mr. Chair, just one thing. I note that the township in its response had a condition that no future lot splits would be allowed. I don't think that our motion is going to address that. I understand the sentiment that's there, but I think we're also probably not inclined to attempt to bind future folks in our chairs from making decisions when the requests come in, if they ever come in.
Yeah, it still leaves that opportunity for somebody to come to the planning and zoning or to the board to make those requests, and at that time the board will make those decisions.
Yeah, I just wanted to note that we thought about what the township said there.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? If not, we would be ready for a motion, I think.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
Motion to approve the conditional use permit for a 3-lot unplatted subdivision with a waiver of platting requirements. Existing home parcel will be expanded but will remain general ag. In accord with the survey completed by Meyer Rowland Land Services dated 1/22/2020, file number 0275, with the following conditions. Number 1, a shared access is required for the north lot, 2 lots, and the easements will need to be recorded prior to any permits being issued, along with an access permit obtained by the County Highway Department prior to any construction. Also, an access permit will be required from the County Highway Department for the south lot prior to any construction occurring. And 2, the proper deeds are recorded for all 3 lots prior to any construction or permits issued, since we are altering an existing general ag lot.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any other discussion? If there's no other discussion, we will have a roll call vote.
Ravender votes aye.
Felger votes aye.
Thompson votes aye.
Tanner votes aye.
Ketchmark votes aye.
Alberg, aye.
All votes aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Paulman.
You're on mute, Brad, but your item's done. Thank you.
Okay. Next one, it would be the Buffalo Lake LLC. Is there anyone here for that? Online? Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Sean?
yeah, they're requesting a continuation till February 25th.
Okay. Do I have a motion to continue for the Buffalo Lake LLC to the February?
Mr. Chair, this is Ken. I so move.
All right, thank you, Ken. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor of continuing signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And number 7 is Justin Dooley. And we will wait till they get to the room.
Sorry, she told me it was hard to open, so I'm sitting here like this.
You want to give your name to Terry for the record, please?
Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Justin Dooley.
Okay, thank you. Sean, whenever you're ready.
Mr. Chair, the property is located in Franklin Township on County Road 30. The existing winery with some improvements, including a building with a tasting room, and then previous allowances for beer sales and events. For reference, if you go into page 9 pages from the end of the report on this item, it has the conditions for the existing CUP. It's titled 2012 CUP, page 4. The request today is to amend the CUP to allow a building for the public to go inside for events and similar activity, and to expand the number of events from 10 to 20. I think I'll let Mr. Dooley describe the details of his operation.
Okay, thank you. You wanna?
Yes. Yes, my wife and I purchased an existing winery here a little over a year ago. We have made the decision in hopes to expand the tasting room, not expand onto the current one, but add an additional tasting room towards the east of the property by the winery. That is about 2,000 square feet and can hold roughly about 155 people. I think it's about 15 square foot per person, the occupancy on that. And yes, and just in hopes that we're able to cater to, Christmas parties, if companies want to have social gatherings there. Obviously with COVID sticking around here, we hope to have more customers come in and still be able to social distance and have a space to have our guests during the winter months as well. It's probably the biggest reason.
Okay. Sean, is there anyone from the public?
Mr. Chair, I don't believe there's anybody online. We did receive some comments in there in the report.
Yes, thank you. Then we'll come back up here to the board. And I guess what does the board have for any comments or thoughts?
Mr. Chair, this is Ken.
Ken, hold on. Mike has got the floor.
Thanks for coming in, Mr. Dooley. So you're okay with the hours of operation that are highlighted for the extra approved events, it looks like 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. and may only occur on Fridays or Saturdays. Is that correct?
I don't recall it going to 10 p.m. I think is it 9 p.m.? That's something. Okay. Yes, I am okay with those hours.
And there was a letter submitted that addressed music in the past, and I think they're looking for something a little more specific on the what the plans were for music as far as amplified or not, inside or outside. And I know from past experience that working at these venues all over the county that it's a great time now to discuss that here in January rather than on a Friday night in July.
Exactly.
When people are gonna call or bring something to sheriff's office attention, or a neighbor will come over upset, so.
Yes.
Did you have a chance to consider that, and what were your thoughts, I guess I'm wondering, on the?
Yes, I mean, as the board is aware, and constituents around the winery, the neighbors, the property does not have the best history. I think I've brought that up in our first initial meeting when I requested to amend the CUP to add craft beer. I think my wife and I have since turned that around in the short time that we've been open. Last year, we had 2 major events that ranged probably from 200 to 250 people. Yeah, it was 250 was max because that was the Walz's order, Governor Walz's order. And we always position the stage on the east side facing the County Road 30, facing west. And I don't recall having any complaints from neighbors. That would be the current situation with the new building, is if we did have outdoor concerts, it would be facing the stage would be sitting east facing west. That would be directly away from, I think it was Russ Nolan's comments. And from talking with a couple neighbors here recently, I don't have much history of the wind directions in this space, but I've been told they're mostly coming from the north-northwest and heading south-southeast, rather than the comment in the letter from the west to the east. I know minor details, but I just wanted to point that out. Yeah, I hope that answered some of your questions.
Well, how about as far as the amplified versus unamplified music? Because that's been addressed in the past with another orchard, to where they weren't allowed to have one person and one amplifier and a guitar on a Sunday afternoon. So we got that past history, and I thought since someone else brought up the concern that we should talk about that here.
Yep. I think it's pertinent that we do have amplified music. I don't know on a acreage of 10 acres that you can have somebody, next to the stage and somebody 9 acres away from it being able to hear an unamplified musician. Larger concerts do require a stage, and in hopes going away with the stage and having those concerts outside, we hope to have a majority of them inside. I'm not going to say we're going to have all 20 events inside the venue. And I do want to point out that one event counts as if there were 101 people versus 100 or 350 people. So out of those 20 events that I'm requesting here today, all 20 events are not going to exceed 300 people. So, I mean, one event would consist of 100 people. But yes, back to the amplified music, I hope we can still keep that around. I don't see a way around it, having a musician, whether they're singing or playing a guitar, sing loud enough to get to that 200th person.
Okay. Or,
Any other board members have any thoughts on that part of it?
I do.
okay,
So I think we have the CUP that's in place. Understanding absolutely the frankly disparate treatment between this one and an orchard where they can't have a single person with a guitar and an amplifier out there. But from where I sit, we've got the CUP as it stands. I wouldn't be in favor of using this as an occasion to further limit it. I'm comforted by the fact that in the old CUP, we've got some awfully broad language, right? That the CUP holder has to make sure that it doesn't become a nuisance for the neighbors. It's an awfully loose standard, one that's not helpful on a late Friday night. But it is there, and there is still a hook there. And until I've got, I guess, probably more evidence of a demonstrable problem out here, I wouldn't be in favor of putting a further limitation on it.
okay,
Mr. Chair,
okay.
I had a question, I guess. If there's an event like with a big stage like that, I know in like a city function, you have to apply for a permit. Is that the case in the county too?
That's basically what he's working on right here. So he's applying for a conditional use permit so that he can have 20 events a year under these parameters, and then he doesn't have to go event by event for permit. He's actually here for a conditional use permit under these parameters, and that is his permit. Up to 20 per year is what he's asking for.
What about, is there a radius of how far you have to notify the neighbors of such events?
Not of each individual event. The neighbors were all notified of this request.
Okay.
So they know there's a request here, and that's what's being asked for the future. And that goes out half a mile, I think, quarter of a mile from the property.
Sorry. Yeah, 1320. 1320.
Quarter mile. So a quarter mile of all the landowners around this property was given notification of this hearing.
Okay.
So, yeah, people around him have been notified of what they are asking for.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, Ken, do you have a question?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and I have to apologize to specifically Commissioner Kashmir and Commissioner Malberg, because I may be repeating myself here, because I had a very difficult time hearing some of the conversation. But it's my understanding, Mr. Chair, that the current expanded or proposed expanded events still run through the same time frame, January 13th through December 15th, and the hours of said events are 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday only, and the music on Friday and Saturday only ends at 9 p.m. And we have yet to discuss, and perhaps it's been mentioned by my colleagues already, the issue of amplified or non-amplified music. I did hear some mention of it, I believe, from the applicant, but there again, I was having difficulty understanding what was said. So that's a lot to recap, Mr. Chair, but could you give me a recap in your words what was discussed, because I can hear you very clearly.
Okay, yes, that was discussed, and I guess, Sean, can you recap it better than I can?
I'll give it a shot. Mr. Chair, Planning Commission, so all the conditions that you laid out, Ken, in detail about hours and Friday and Saturday and such, that does remain the same. That's the existing CUP and conditions. The request is to expand from 10 to 20 events within those parameters, and then to do that building. The music was discussed. Commission member Malberg, I think, referred to condition 10 that all steps are done to ensure the music does not become a nuisance as an adequate standard at this time, even though that standard is a bit vague. We had another member, I did not pick up who was talking about it, was curious if there was a separate permitting process for the music events, and that's contained within this CUP. And I think that those are the main things on the music.
Did they speak of amplified or non-amplified music?
I believe the petitioner made the comment that because of the size of the events and the type of music, it lends itself to needing to be amplified, and perhaps with the building, some of those events will be going indoors.
Mr. Chair, if I may further comment on Mr. Riley's recent comment about amplified music, hasn't it been more or less consistent with locations like this? And I'm thinking of the restaurant east of Buffalo, where we specifically requested inside non-amplified music. Has that been somewhat consistent throughout our deliberations on similar applications?
Can you answer that, Sean?
Well, I can give you staff's opinion. Some of the members might have a different take on it. I think our attempt is we've tried to be consistent, and I think maybe this original winery petition opened this up of trying to deal with the issue of outdoor music. And I think our initial ceiling was to not have it amplified. And that's when we got some complaints, albeit a different operator. And then we've had some other properties come to us with music, and we've had this debate of amplified versus non-amplified. And then we've had Norms come to us that clearly had an indoor venue, but had an outdoor little podium stage where the discussion was on the types of instruments, the number of instruments, how there can be insulation done behind it. My comment as staff, if we're at the point of a stage with a band amplified, that seems like that's at the top of the ceiling. I don't know what else there would be to go to limit it to. If we're having stages with bands completely amplified, I would have a tough time going out and determining if it's a nuisance for the neighbors.
I just want to interject really quick. I think I was reading the temporary CUP from before. It's actually a year-round operation. It's not limited to the months anymore. That was
That's what I was wondering.
previous
Okay.
CUP.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Jan?
I think what we need to do here is, since there have been so many new members since this original conditional use permit was granted, that we should just all get a good look at the property again and put it into perspective so our eyes can see what our ears are hearing. I would very much like to postpone any action on this, but to continue the hearing for a site inspection. And I'd like to make that as a motion.
All right, I have a motion on the floor to continue for a site inspection. When would you be continuing, tell Jan? Tell the, what is it?
Well, just as soon as we possibly can.
It would either be the 4th or the 25th of February.
Yeah, well, the 25th or the 25th, let's say that.
Okay, so your motion is to continue for a site inspection to the 25th of February meeting.
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Mr. Chair, I'll second that. This is Ken.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll have a roll call vote for a continuation and a site inspection.
Ravender abstains.
Felger, yes.
Thompson, yes.
Tanner, yes.
Ketchmark, aye. Yes.
Ulrich abstains.
Mal votes yes, motion carries 5-2 with 2 abstaining. So we'll continue this until February 25th, and at the end of the meeting, we will set up a time when the board can set up a inspection or to come out and see the place.
Is there anything that the board would like to see on the property? Other than
A rock band, I believe, is
Yeah,
we want to see that day.
if we have some examples of what's gonna take place. But I think for myself, just kind of where you're planning on putting a stage outside, that's probably gonna help the most if we need to do this, so.
If you put up a couple flags where the building is gonna be, where you're anticipating the building and, you know, which way it's gonna go or, you know, that type of thing.
Yep.
So,
Great.
all right.
All right, thank you, members of the board.
All right, thank you. All right, number 8 is Minnesota CSG 10 LLC. Are they online, Sean?
We have at least one of the people, Lauren Wahlberg, online. Is there anybody else, Lauren?
Yeah, this is Lauren, and we've also got Marin Demise from Sunrise Energy on.
Okay.
Yes, I'm on.
Nobody at the courthouse, though.
Nobody at the courthouse. Yep, we're both online.
Thank you. Tell me when you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Whenever you're ready, Sean, go ahead and take it.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the property is in Monticello Township. It's zoned agriculture. It's in the land use plan for agriculture. The historical land use on that area and the surrounding area has been gravel pits and irrigation farming. There's been a previous solar farm permitted and built north of this proposal, and one northwest has been permitted but not built yet. The request is to build a 1 megawatt solar farm in the southeast corner of the property. And the site plan and the request is to use an existing haul road to access the solar farm to build and maintain it, and then having a backup plan of a field access road tying into the other solar farm if that's needed. The township response was not a yes or no. They were requesting a site inspection done by the Planning Commission and themselves. That's all they have at this time.
All right, thank you, Sean. Does the applicant have some they would like to add?
I don't really have that much to add. You know, the proposal is for, like Sean mentioned, a 1 megawatt solar farm. We did construct the one that is just north of here. And then the proposed one that Sean mentioned as well was also one of our projects. I'd just like to answer any questions you have. We have met with the Monticello Township twice, and they did request for us to have a continuation for us to be able to do a site visit on the property as well. So you know, we're fine with that, and we anticipate that. So
okay.
With that, yeah, I'll stand for any questions. And Marin is here as well, in case you have questions that I can't answer.
Mr. Chair?
Now, is that a reclaimed gravel pit? I think we've been out there before during the gravel mining processes, but is that
Yeah.
a reclaimed pit?
Yes, Maren could say this for sure, but yes, I believe it is the reclaimed gravel pit.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Sean, do we have anyone from the public on?
I do not see anybody.
Okay. Does anyone here from the board have any questions?
Mr. Chair, this is Ken.
Yes, Ken.
Mr. Chair, I would like to ask the lady applicants where their nearest three-phase line is they'll be connecting up to. Is it up on 85th or is it out on Highway 25?
It's on Highway 25, and Maren is actually the most well-versed in the interconnection process, so I don't know if you have anything more to say about that, Maren, but
It is off of Highway 25 where it comes into that gun
Club.
into the gun club.
and it's just, yep.
Okay, very well. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, ladies.
Is there any other questions or comments? Is this something the board would like to add on to the agenda for a site inspection?
I would so move, Mr. Chair.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded. Is there any other discussion? Will we be continuing it to the 4th or the 25th meeting? I guess I want a clarification there.
Well, it all depends, I guess, on how we're going to work out that other site inspection, Mr. Chair. I can certainly say the 25th of February would be acceptable to me if it's okay with the applicants.
I mean, I think we definitely, prefer earlier, the earlier meeting, but, we understand that scheduling may not permit that. We are anticipating going back to Monticello Township on February 1st for their February 1st meeting, and I think they had anticipated that the site visit might be able to happen prior to that.
I see.
But
well, I would as well, Mr. Chair, do it as soon as possible. Perhaps we may not be able to combine it with our road trip with the Delano Winery, but if in that case, in this instant case, I would then say I would like to continue this for a site inspection and then meet prior to February 4th.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I make a suggestion?
You certainly may, Sean.
Yeah, they're in dramatically different parts of the county. If you were to do this site inspection and then continue it to the next meeting, and then we have that next meeting, if we have any other site inspections from that meeting, we could schedule them along with the winery inspection.
Can Sean give us a preview of that next meeting, whether he expects a whole slew of site visits to come out of it?
Yeah, Sean, do you have any idea how that next meeting is looking?
I don't have input one way or the other. I'm just simply saying, if you break it into two, if we end up with a site inspection for that second February meeting, we'll be doing potentially a second one anyhow.
Okay, I guess my feeling is once I do a site inspection, I'd like to do them both and not have to break them up if we don't have to. But
I agree with you.
That's just me.
We can do it either way.
Well,
but if we are going to do them together, then we're kicking these guys out until the 25th of February meeting because of what we did on the winery.
Or you do them together before the 4th, and they're just done. It's on the 4th or it's on the 25th.
Yeah.
Well, Ken, if you're okay, is it all right if we do it? We'll shoot for the 4th. And we'll
Yes, that's fine. That's acceptable.
Okay. Once we get done with this, we'll hash it out with the board here to see what we can come up with in the next 2 weeks. But, all right, I have a motion to continue on a site inspection and continue to the 4th of February. Is there any other discussion? If not, we'll do a roll call vote.
Bravender votes aye.
Felger votes aye.
Thompson votes aye.
Tanner votes aye.
Ketchmark votes aye.
Mulberg, aye.
Maul votes aye. So we will, if you guys don't stay online, if the applicants want to just call the office tomorrow, and they will let you know when we come up with a date and a time to come and do a site inspection.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I can hang out online too.
Okay.
So, perfect.
And
Thanks.
that's fine. Okay, Sean, do we have anything else on the agenda?
I do not.
Okay. I would like to go on record and make sure it's in the minutes that it's congratulations to Terry for 40 years of service here at Planning and Zoning. And I've been here for 7 or 8 years, and you're greatly appreciated, and I'm sure you have been in the past.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you very much. So if we don't have anything else other than setting up a site inspection, normally for the newer members, we've had one member at a site inspection, we usually do them at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, meet here at the courthouse. What do people have open basically from next Monday for notices, Terry? Is that soon enough?
Yep.
So it would
We gotta get
basically,
Yeah, 3 days.
basically be between the 19th and the 3rd of February. We have to do a site inspection to keep them on the agenda for the 4th.
And we want to be done before the 1st, right? Because they're going back to the township on the 1st.
That's true. That's true. So basically, we have the last 2 weeks here, January for a site inspection. What do,
20th at 1 works for me.
20th of 1?
I'm open, I work from home.
Okay. Dan, Pat?
And is that to start out one direction or the other, or where are we going that day?
I guess we gotta set a date, and then we'll talk to Sean as to which direction he's going first. Ken, Janice, the 20th of January at 1 o'clock?
That's acceptable to me, Mr. Chair.
Hey, Janice?
That's fine.
Dan?
Yeah, I can make it work.
Okay, we'll set up a site inspection for, do we wanna make that a motion?
That for both of them in one day though?
Yeah, let's do them both. I would like to do them both. Did somebody make that a motion, please?
Yeah, I'll make that a motion.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and seconded for a site inspection on the 20th of January, meeting here at the county courthouse at 1 p.m. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Ken?
This is only for the solar farm proposal, is that correct?
No, we're gonna try to do them both the same day. That way we don't.
Oh, you are? Oh.
Get together again.
Well,
We're going to do both the inspections on the same day?
Yes.
And how long, since they're so far apart, how much should I allow for that then?
Probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but an hour and a half. Because the one is just by Monticello, so that's only gonna be a 10 or 15-minute drive.
Okay,
And the other one is the other direction.
okay. Well, the weather would have been perhaps more conducive to an inspection for an outdoor venue on the 25th of February rather than January, but I guess we'll have to do what the majority says.
Okay.
You have a lot of faith in February, Jan.
What?
You have a lot of faith in February's weather. It's a positive sign.
No, the January's fine. The January's fine. I vote yes.
Okay. If there's nothing else to come before the board, then do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're out of here. Thank you, everybody, for being here.